Over the past 20 years, suicide rates have increased by 30%. According to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, 47,000 people took their lives in 2017. 1,300,000 people attempted. 129 suicides happened a day, 51% of which are done with firearms. Nevada has the 6th highest suicide rate in the nation. Anxiety causes 70% of suicides. Roughly 1 in 8 kids will be diagnosed with an anxiety disorder. Anxiety is when your brain fills with adrenaline, and the only way to calm down is with dopamine or serotonin. 50% of girls and 33% of boys control their eating habits and weight. 25% of them will self-harm or commit suicide. According to the National Institutes of Health, a teenager's prefrontal cortex is still developing, while the limbic system, or emotional response, has already developed. When faced with a decision, the prefrontal cortex of a teenager has to work harder than that of an adult. A teenager's first language is feelings. When they're overrun with emotional distress, the emotional response overrides and floods the prefrontal cortex. Teenagers are also risk takers. Whenever you take a risk, your brain fills with adrenaline, and after you've taken the risk, it fills with dopamine. That gives you a natural high. Now, improv can give you the same feeling, but with healthy risk. Improvisation is creation without preparation, when a group of people get on stage and they have to come up with their character setting and goals on the spot. The only rules are release control and always say yes and. Now, improv is healthy risk-taking because when a child gets out of their normal comfort zone by taking an emotional risk or getting on stage when they're nervous, the brain fills with adrenaline and then releases dopamine afterwards. It's basically hijacking their brain. Now, using dynamic reactions within improv turns feelings into thoughts and choices, channeling their emotions into something that they can rationally think through. Whenever a teenager starts performing improv, the part of their brain that's curious is then triggered. When curiosity triggers the same part of our brain that motivates us. After we've completed the scene, our brain releases dopamine. Once we release dopamine, we want to repeat the action again. It's the same reason why if you eat a chip, then you want to eat another one. Or if you take a sip of alcohol, you want to do it again. Your brain liked the feeling. Now, a company called KidScape in Reno has been taking improv into the classroom. Their founder and owner, Christina Frank Daniels, has worked on Broadway and is an alumnus of Juilliard. She's taking her acting knowledge and applying it to everyday life. She's currently working with GT students to teach them empathy and open-mindedness. Over the past few months, she put together a survey that was teaching them how to be more empathetic and to learn what their strengths are. She asked them at the beginning, how well can I define my strengths? And how can I tell someone's feelings by the emotions on their face?